Super Rescue. Derek the diesel engine loved working on the island of Sodor. The Fat Controller had taken him out of the quarry and put him on the main line to help out with the busy summer trains. However, even with Derek's help, it was hard work. The Fat Controller decided to get another engine to help out. It was one the engines had unfortunately met before. D261 raced up the line. He wasn't too happy he had to work with the steam engines again, but he was very determined to modernize the railway. I may have failed last time I was here, but this time I'll get rid of those kettles, he oiled. When he arrived at Tidmouth's sheds, he stopped on the turntable. The engines were staring at him, including Derek. As the diesel backed into a berth, they resumed their conversations. D261 tried to talk, but he was ignored. He started getting annoyed, so decided to speak up. It's time, Paxman, that we took this railway over. The steam engines overheard this and glared at the two diesels. I'm not here to take over anyone, stammered Derek. Well, my controller says steam engines spoil our image, oiled D261. Of course we do, interrupted Duck. We show what frauds you are. Call yourselves engines. If anything happens, you care nothing for your train. You just moan for a fitter. We bring it home, if only on one cylinder. Nothing, boasted D261, ever happens to us. We are reliable. The engines whistled and wheezed in anger. How rude, said D261 as he looked at Derek. But Derek stayed silent. He didn't want to be involved in the argument at all. Soon, the engines had calmed down and went to sleep, all except Derek, who felt that the engines now hated him. Next day, Henry was returning home. His regulator had jammed whilst he was pulling a goods train and was heading to the works to be repaired. I'm a failed engine, he wheezed sadly. Oh well, at least I've still got steam, and Driver can use my reverser. But it would happen after Duck fooled me with those tenders. They'll laugh at me all over again. Henry had reached a signal box. He stopped, whistling for a signal. On the line next to him stood D261 with a train of oil tankers. As if my day couldn't get any worse, thought Henry. Now Bowler will laugh at me too. The signalman came out. For pity's sake, take old Bowler away. Derek's passenger train is behind, and all he's doing is wailing for his fitter. Bowler, spluttered the diesel. Be quiet, snapped the signalman. D261 stopped talking then. Henry pulled the train out of the way. The diesel didn't help. He just sulked. Derek raced past with a roar. Henry gave a chuckle. Look, Bowler, he said. This is what real engines can do. The diesel said nothing. He hoped Derek hadn't seen him. But Derek was having troubles of his own. His engine started to overheat, and the train began to get heavier and heavier. He struggled for half a mile before having to bring the train to a stop. Well then, did you hear what the signalman said? Chuckled the driver. I thought they'd be laughing at me, cried Henry. Now, let's go help Derek. Moving two dead diesels and their trains is no joke for a failed engine, said the driver. Do you think you can do it? I'll give it a good try, said Henry with spirit. Anyway, Derek's a nice diesel. Bowler was only trying to use him. Come on, then. We mustn't keep the passengers waiting, said the driver. Get moving, you! Henry puffed. Henry gently buffered up to the express. While the two drivers talked, his fireman coupled him to Derek's train. It's better than we thought, old boy, said his driver. Derek has cooled down now and can help pull the train, so all we'll have is Bowler's load to pull. Whew, said Henry. That will make it easier. He was starting to get quite tired. Honk, honk! Are you ready? Tooted Derek. Peep, peep! Yes, I am, whistled Henry. So with Derek growling in front and Henry puffing hard in the middle, the long cavalcade set off to the next big station. Donald and City of Truro were waiting. They whistled and cheered as Henry puffed past. With one last puff, Henry came to a stop at the big station. He gave a massive sigh of relief. The passengers buzzed out like angry bees, but the fat controller told them about Henry, so they forgot to be cross and thanked him. They called him a really useful engine and took pictures of him. They were thrilled when the City of Truro backed onto their train. The guard shooed them in quickly, and City of Truro puffed away to make up for lost time. The fat controller ordered Donald to take the goods and return D261 back to the other railway. Henry and Derek went away together. I'm sorry about last night, apologized Derek. That's all right, puffed Henry. Old Stuck-Up just wanted to use you to show diesels are better. And, continued Derek, for making a fool of myself today, too. Huh! A failed engine might happen to anyone. I lost my regulator. You? Failed? He exclaimed. And yet? Well, said Henry, it was an emergency. That's what it means to be a really useful engine. Derek said no more. He had a lot to think about.